Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, Americans. It's Monday. Best day of the week by far. You got the whole week in front of you. Just exciting, isn't it? Happy Veterans Day, by the way, and thank you for your service to all vets today, including you, Chris Cruz. Thank you for your service.
Came in uniform today. So.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good. By the way, we're going to be posting here shortly, as soon as I get my act together, at Pat Unleashed, a list of places that you can, if you're a veteran, get a discount, whether it's a restaurant or a store. A lot of discounts out there to be had. So please take a look at that list and take advantage if you're a veteran. God bless you.
Oh, yeah.
If you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, over the weekend, we went to the JFK Museum, the 6th floor museum.
Incredible.
Really cool. And they're having a discount for veterans. I think it's half price for veterans. So I think that applies to today as well.
Not free?
No, it's
I'm not going.
I don't think so. But I think it's half price.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
But it's good. It's really, have you been?
No, I've never been.
No? It's good. It's worth doing. You've seen it, right, Keith?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest setups ever at a museum.
And when you look out that window and you see the shot that was supposedly taken,
what do you think?
You think it's really unlikely.
Really?
I mean, that's super unlikely.
So even more
to say
unlikely
the least.
than what people say, the grassy knolls and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah. The grassy knolls thing is almost certain to me. I mean, the Congressional Commission that they put together in 76 and then they released their findings in 1978, they came to the conclusion with a 95% or better probability someone fired at him from the grassy knoll.
Wow.
In addition, I mean, they thought the shots came from the book depository too, but somebody was shooting from the grassy knoll.
So there were two shooters. Huh.
At least. Yeah. So, yeah, but the official line, no.
Pat.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
It was the Russian.
That's all. Lee Harvey Oswald acting alone.
There were 3 shooters, and none of them were named Lee Harvey Oswald.
So you don't even think he was involved?
I don't know.
Umbrella Man was involved.
Umbrella Man. I don't know if I'm familiar with
take a
Umbrella
look at that
Man.
sewer down there below the street level.
Okay.
Just saying.
It's pretty amazing, though.
Sure.
I mean, at least don't insult our intelligence by saying he was the only one.
Yes.
Are we about to get all the JFK files in about 70 days?
Oh,
boys?
that's what I hope.
We better.
He said he would. So we'll see.
Let's go.
We will see. Chris also has an interesting story from the weekend that we'll get into later on. We'll tap that story later on.
Oh, that's not the right word
That
to
is
say.
not the right.
That's not the right word to say,
I chose
sir.
it carefully, actually.
Oh, you did?
You don't like that word?
I really
All right.
don't.
Okay, I'll take the heat off of you for a second, Chris. Head to at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Check out, I've linked to 3 different articles with a whole bunch of lists of discounts for our veterans. Thank y'all for all that you have done for us.
And over the weekend, of course, great weekend. For a while, it looked like it wasn't going to be a great weekend football-wise, but BYU won the Holy War.
Congrats.
22-21 over the Godless Animals.
So
9-0? 9-0.
Wow, Pat.
9-0.
I think this is your year, Pat.
Yeah, I love it, man. It is. I mean, we're in Provo. They're partying like it's 1984, the year we last won the national championship. The Utes, by the way, are now 4-5. Welcome to the Big 12. Utah's classless athletic director, after the game, Mark Harlan, went on social media to claim the game was stolen. He implied the Big 12 fixed the game.
Oh, wow.
So the Big 12 fined him $40,000.
Oh,
largest fine they've ever dished out.
Wow.
Yeah. They continue to win friends and influence people over at the U.
So was it stolen?
No.
Okay.
Of course not. Did you watch any of it?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
You know what I was doing?
There was a big controversial play at the end.
I was watching the score app. It was fascinating on that.
Yeah,
I
so
can't
that didn't tell the whole story.
Okay.
The whole story is unbelievable. It's really something. But BYU had the ball inside the 5, I think. At end of the game, there's like a minute and a half or so left. And the 3 incomplete passes. On 4th down, he's sacked at the goal line. Okay. Our quarterback is sacked at the goal line. Game over, right? Uh-oh. Well, not so fast, my friends, as Lee Corso might say. There was a penalty. A holding penalty against one of our receivers. And it was shown over and over again. It was clearly a hold. He clearly violated the rules of the game.
Oh no!
So I guess the problem is they didn't want it called. I guess they weren't supposed to say anything about it. Shh! Don't worry about the holding penalty. So they called the holding penalty, and BYU got a first down and then went on to score the game-winning field goal.
Interesting.
It was an awesome experience.
That sounds awesome.
It was one of the most thrilling games maybe of all time in the
Do you
series.
yell at the TV?
Oh my gosh. I had my sons over, my son-in-law, and there was 6 or 7 or 8 of us, and we were just going out of our minds.
That's awesome.
It's 1 a.m. We're going out of our minds.
1 a.m?
Yeah,
Ooh,
it was a really late
You got to
game.
turn in.
But I'm glad to see the Utah administration and their fans continue to make a really lovely impression on the Big 12. Here's a thing for them, though. Little advice for the University of Utah. I would bet that the newly reorganized Pac-12 or the Pac-7 or whatever you're going to call that, it's essentially the Mountain West Division.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd welcome you back with open arms. You could renew your rivalry with Utah State there. You could probably dominate them. You could make your matchup with Fresno State into a new big thing. That'd be great. It'd be so exciting. So just apply to the new Pac-7 if you don't like the Big 12. Because, man, the reception to the Utes on the football field has not been friendly in the Big 12, and they thought it was going to be. They thought they were going to just rule the world instantly. Didn't really work out that way, did it? However, on to really super important, mega impactful things. Little election update. We've finally finished with the actual final count as far as electoral votes in the presidential race. It was 312 to 226, as we'd been saying since last Wednesday. 312. I mean, that's a landslide. In today's day and age, where people don't win 49 states anymore. That's virtually impossible. We're just too splintered and fractured for that. But 312 electoral votes? That's decisive. The Senate is at 53-46. And right now, the best count I can find on the House, have you seen anything different than this, Keith? It's 214 to 203. That's what I have.
Yeah, 214 to 203, 218 for a majority. But
we need 4 more.
I guess,
I think Fox, didn't they call it at one point over the weekend?
I saw a clip that a headline that said that somebody in the House thinks that they may be able to call it by close of business Friday. Nope.
This last Friday, not coming.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But it's like a 95% chance that Republicans will retake the House.
Can I just say, what is the deal? Like, this is ridiculous.
I don't know.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
I mean, this tweet sums it up. First of all, the guy in charge of Maricopa County counting votes, Stephen Ricker, I don't know. This quote of his, I'm going to make life hell for Kerry, as in Kerry Lake. I mean, that's the guy running the show out there.
And the Democrats up by, what, 1.5 in that race?
Yeah, it's not good. They've already called that, But this quote says it all here from Jordan Schachtel, I think. It has taken Arizona, this is from the other day. It's taken Arizona 5 days and counting to count 3 million votes. Florida counted 11 million in about 2 hours. Exactly.
How?
Exactly. How? How is that possible?
It's the only word that you can use. How?
Absolutely ridiculous. And if you don't think the fix has been in some of these places, my gosh. Arizona, Nevada, probably Michigan here.
Still going to win them. Trump's still going to win.
No. I'm not talking about him.
Oh, you're talking about
the Senate races here that should have been called.
Should have.
Lots.
I mean, we should be close to a 60 member majority here, a super majority, but we're not going to be.
Right.
But this still, even so, with everything considered, is a mandate for change. We're sick and tired of what's been going on in this country. We Americans want to get back to free market principles. They want an end to the endless wars. We want our border secured. So build the stinking wall already. We want to get back to normal. We know what a woman is. We know what a biological man is. And we know that he doesn't belong in a locker room, bathroom, or the field or court, anywhere with biological women. It's not safe and it's not fair. And all Americans understand that. They might still support the other side because they're so touchy-feely, because it's politically correct to say, oh, that's not a man anymore. That's a woman. No, just because they identify as something doesn't make them that something. So I think Americans are ready to get back to reality. We're tired of living in the twilight zone, and this was a massive statement to make our feelings known.
I just don't know that message has gotten to Senate Republicans.
No, it hasn't.
Because Senate Republicans, it looks like we have three choices coming up: John Cornyn, John Thune, and Rick Scott.
Who's Trump's choice, by the way.
Right. And you can understand that considering John Cornyn is a progressive. John Thune works against Trump and has had some bad things to say about Trump in the past. I don't see him working as an ally. Rick Scott, far and away the best option of those three.
But John Cornyn is probably the winner.
Right?
If you're to believe all the stuff coming out of the Senate.
So Benny Johnson posted last night like a whip count. Because it's going to be a secret ballot on Wednesday for Senate Republicans. Well, first of all, that's bullcrap.
Yeah, it is.
But
what happened to transparency?
Right. According to the Benny Johnson final whip vote count, it looks like it's Thune 24 right now, Cornyn 18, and Rick Scott 11.
Wow.
And when you've got people like Ted Cruz reportedly aligning with Thune for this vote for Senate Majority Leader, that's a problem.
That's weird.
Josh Hawley for Cornyn, it's reported.
I'd like to ask him about that, but apparently, the feelings are still tender from the foosball beatdown game in Iowa.
Right. And you know what? It says a lot that the reported vote for J.D. Vance, the vice president-elect, that feels good to say, he wants Rick Scott, that he plans on voting for Rick Scott. Because remember, he doesn't get inaugurated until January 20th, so he's got a couple of weeks still in his Senate seat. So we'll see how this shakes out now that this is public. But on Wednesday right now, it looks like John Thune is set to be the Senate Majority Leader, and that would not be the best option.
Well,
be better than Cornyn, but
slightly,
not as good as
only
Scott.
Slightly.
But not as good as Scott.
Yeah. I mean, usually they go with the worst option, so that would be something, I guess.
Yeah, because he said that Trump. Here's a tweet from John Thune.
From when?
From October 8th, 2016.
All right.
Leading up to the 2016 election. Donald Trump should withdraw, and Mike Pence should be our nominee effective immediately. I forgot what was going on in the news at that time, but I never had that thought myself.
All right.
Let's see. And then here's another quote of John Thune's. What former President Trump did to undermine faith in our election system and disrupt the peaceful transfer of power is inexcusable.
But here's the thing. What was it Arlen Specter said about him in his book? He has the body of a Greek god. And he walked into the Senate bathhouse naked as a jailbird.
Direct quote.
I
mean, that's actually...
Yeah. It's pretty close.
I know.
I mean, the Greek god part is exact. The rest of it, we sort of ad-lib and fill in the blanks. But, so... We've shared with you the latest on the electoral map. Here's a map that shows you the ID laws. This is fascinating.
Yep.
Okay, so where they don't need to show ID, what happened in the election? Who actually won in the no ID states of Washington, Oregon, California, New Mexico, Colorado, etc., all down the East Coast, Illinois in the Midwest, Minnesota.
Look at that. Two states that she won required an ID. That was
only two.
New Hampshire and Rhode Island, it appears.
And of course she's going to win those states. I mean, that is part of the equation that these states were going to vote for regardless. But
New Hampshire let me down. I really thought Trump was going to get that.
It was fairly close, wasn't it? Like 3 or 4 points?
Yeah.
Something like that. Was it even closer maybe? I don't know.
I'll tell you right now.
All right.
The grand total was 50.9 to 48.2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's even closer than I thought.
Yeah.
That's
Lily
great.
Tang, I was hoping, was going to win, too.
All right. But here's the deal on this election. It's more than just a victory. It's a turning point. It's a historic new dawn that's rising over America. President Trump's win is a triumph for every American who's had enough of the tired narratives that we just talked about that are pushed by the legacy media. While those networks scrambled, Blaze Media stayed true to its promise, delivering the unfiltered truth on election night as it happened. This moment right here marks the start of a future that we've all been waiting for and praying for. And in a time when big media offers favors, they love distraction over truth, Blaze Media is dedicated to setting the record straight. We're here to give you and your voice for truth, to hold power accountable, and to defend the values that make this country great. To keep up the fight, we need you with us. By subscribing to Blaze Media, you're helping us cut through the noise and reach Americans everywhere. And to celebrate, we're offering $47 off your annual membership. $47, our biggest discount of all time. And all you have to do is go to blazeelection.com/Pat to subscribe and join this movement. Stand with Blaze Media, and together, let's wake up America, one truth at a time. That's blazeelection.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed now continues.
And speaking of the media, of course, the left wants to censor social media. The way they got away with all doing that back in 2020 and 2021, if you remember correctly.
I think in a normal country, we would say, hold on a second, maybe we need to have a different set of regulations for social media platforms now that they're this big.
It would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way slowly to a full-blown fascist politic. You don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction.
Pause it for a second. Whose fault is that? Okay, they've got everything else.
I know.
On this planet, they have everything. You have to control absolutely every aspect of our life. My gosh, it's not enough that MSNBC, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, they're all propaganda machines for the Democrat Party. The New York Times, all the biggest papers in the country. New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, Chicago Tribune, you name it, Dallas Morning News, they're all free. But you don't have any Joe Rogans on the left. Really? It's just
And
incredible.
if you try, history shows that you fail. Because when you were given the opportunity to compete against the likes of Rush Limbaugh and other conservative voices,
failure.
You had
Abject
this experiment called Air America that nobody listened to because you suck at getting your message out because your message sucks.
Yep. And yet, there's all these people I previously mentioned are willing to share your message. They're still trying to push it out. And that, I wasn't even counting TV shows, which are all on the Democrat side. They're all left. All the movies that come out, they're all left wing. But Joe Rogan, that's who we have to worry about. My gosh,
it's absolutely incredible. And you know, that's only one of the things that they object to is that how dare the right have access to anything in social media, right?
Yep.
But you know, if they can't stop you there, then when they do have power, they want to get rid of things like the Electoral College and remake the Supreme Court. And obviously, we just saw the graphic of banning voter ID. Makes you wonder why they don't want voter ID laws, doesn't it? Because they can't win states with them.
Yeah.
So anyhow, it's just one thing after another with them, and it all goes back to control.
Was there more on this? Did we have...
No, I think it just ends with Elon Musk telling Disney advertising dollars to go F themselves, but they added that to the end of this montage perfectly, actually.
Go yourself. Is that clear?
Yeah.
I hope it is.
It is. Is that clear? Yeah, I think that was fairly clear. Mm-hmm. We forget how Elon Musk tried to back out of the purchase of Twitter, but they dragged him into court to make him pay. And now they kind of resent that, don't they? They regret that.
Scott Adams had somebody on his show. I don't know who this is, but total memory refresher here. This is so cool.
So, they built this Death Star, and he goes in to buy it, and he offers $44 billion. I don't remember, 42, and it gets to 44 through some accounting stuff. But I don't know if you remember, but the market crashed hard right then. That was when the market fell off a cliff, and he realized he was way overpaying. The bankers all tried to back out. Nobody wanted to invest. He was in over his head. The stock he put up as collateral had come down, and he didn't want to buy it anymore. He didn't want to buy it. And he was like, well, there are too many bots here. And they're like, well, that's not good enough. You can't back out.
Remember that.
So they dragged him to court in front of a Delaware judge, and they made him buy it.
That's awesome.
It's a nice reminder.
And the rest is history.
I don't know who that guy is, but he's got a good memory, because I'd forgotten that completely.
And so I looked it up. It's worth, they think, maximum of $10 billion is what they're saying.
Oh, wow. Really?
But look, you won us an election and saved the country. So thank you so much, Elon Musk. Now you have a seat at the table.
He definitely helped. No doubt
and in fact, Elon Musk was on a call last week with Trump calling Zelensky about Ukraine relations and everything. And the little thing I read said, aid was not discussed on the phone call. Good.
Wow. All right. And over on The View.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, the witches in the coven were upset. Sonny Hostin was still whining on Friday.
Get over it.
I disagree.
All right.
I think that I'd like to reframe the conversation. I think Bernie Sanders is wrong. I think the more relevant question actually is, what is wrong with America?
Oh, do you?
I think
then we better
what is
pause
wrong
it for
with
a
our
sec.
country?
If Sonny Hostin thinks something's wrong with us, we better take stock.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's definitely time for some introspection on our part.
I love Chris mixing in the clucking hands.
So great.
Just perfectly.
All right, here's more.
The Republican Party would choose as a candidate and support a candidate who is an insurrectionist, who is an election denier, who is someone who is twice impeached, 34-time convicted felon, someone who has been accused.
The votes are in.
It's not 34 times. It's 34 count.
Women found liable for sexual abuse. What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness,
of
xenophobia, of racism,
you can't even say divisiveness properly. So
over a message of inclusiveness, a message
okay, I can't take any more from her. Good golly. It has nothing to do with the color of her skin or the gender that she has. We don't even know the gender. We're not biologists. There's a few biologists across the country that even knew she was a woman. Who knew? It's so ridiculous.
I mean,
it can't be her policies that she won't even explain to us.
I saw this article.
Oh, she is butt stupid.
I know this article over the weekend, and the headline was, Yale psychiatrists cause it essential for liberals to cut off Trump voting loved ones during the holidays.
Oh, I saw that.
Your terms are acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no. So there you go. I thought we were supposed to heal and whatnot.
I love the fact that the Yale psychologist was saying, yeah, it's fine for you to not visit friends or relatives who voted for Donald Trump. That's great. Blow them off. And then on the other hand, J.D. Vance is saying, hey, look, do not cut off your friends and your family for the holidays or any other time over politics. It's not worth it. So I don't know. You tell me. Which message is the right one? Which message is the righteous one? And which is the evil one? Not that hard. It's really not that hard.
And then you had Georgetown University saying, yeah, we're going to cancel school.
Georgetown as well.
Yeah.
So did Harvard.
Harvard, yeah.
I think Yale, Columbia. Seriously, if you're paying upwards of $100,000 per year to go to school, and
yeah,
you're at the best institutions in the world, and you can't handle the fact that somebody you don't like was elected president, you just need to go home. Just go home and stay
there. There's a university in Tacoma, Washington. It's the University of Puget Sound.
Puget Sound.
They're taking a full week off, Pat.
A full week.
And it's the week is called the week of self-care.
Self-care. All right.
And they'll have activities for stressed out students.
What, hacky sacking? What are we doing here?
Hacky sacking.
Are we
Wow.
doing yoga out on the lawn? What are we?
Yes.
Pampering and babying these kids? Is this going to help in the long run?
I was going to say, and these are they're supposed to be in college to be trained up to be leaders in their fields and leaders in the future. Way to train up these young adults by canceling classes over an election result.
So the university is going to have walkable labyrinths with calming lights and music.
Oh, wow.
You can recharge your mental health.
Walkable labyrinth.
And then they have support space for election processing. But in Oregon, the University of Oregon will have a Quactavius, the therapy duck. So
what? Therapy duck?
They're going to bring the therapy duck to talk to the students.
What's its name? Quactavius?
Quactavius.
The therapy duck. But don't worry, he's going to be in company with the baby therapy goats.
Okay, hold on a second.
The therapy dogs.
All right.
Hold on. Labyrinth walking is an ancient practice used by many faiths for spiritual centering, contemplation, and prayer. Entering the serpentine path of a labyrinth, you stroll while quieting your mind and focusing on a spiritual question or prayer. Do you close your eyes when you're doing this? You can walk into light poles and whatnot. That sounds dangerous.
And Virginia Tech is also bringing some dogs, arts and craft, guided stretching.
Guided stretching. Because you don't want to do that on your own.
No, you don't.
You
yoga,
need a trained professional to help you stretch.
Yeah.
Self-care.
Okay. That's unbelievable.
Oh, and then you can go talk to the dog because he has paw fist hours.
Okay. No, get out of my face.
And this is all at Puget Sound?
This one is a Virginia Tech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, you have to go to Virginia Tech on this one.
Paw fist
hours.
Stop it.
That is, I mean, they are kindergartners is what they are. It's $100,000 a year to send your kid to a woke kindergarten class.
Yes, everything that I'm reading about what they're doing is literally what a kindergarten class does.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Are they going to bring out their rugs and take little nappies?
I was just going to ask the map. The mats are going to come out and they can
know
nap.
You guys are tired from crying all night, so take a nap. Take a little Harvard nap, would you?
It's only going to cost you $100,000, but it's okay though. It's okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
You know, there's a couple of Democrats that are waking up. At least seemingly, this will last for 48 hours, and they'll be back to their ways. But you had the Massachusetts Democrat representative who people on the left are calling him to resign because he has betrayed transgenders because of this quote.
Okay.
Democrats spend way too much time. It's a Democrat politician saying this, a congressman. Democrats spend way too much time trying not to offend anyone rather than being brutally honest about the challenges many Americans face. I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a male or formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that. End quote.
Good for him.
And there was a long Twitter thread of Senator Chris Murphy talking about time to rebuild the left. A lot of this is leftist garbage in there, but there are some things where he talks about we're out of touch with what's fueling MAGA.
You think?
The left has never fully grappled with the wreckage of 50 years of neoliberalism. Institutions like churches are delegitimized and place-based identity evaporates as we all become global citizens. We don't listen enough. We tell people what's good for them. So,
but keep telling us it's because we're racists, misogynists, and haters. Just keep doing that, and you will continue to lose elections like this. I'd almost prefer it. Yeah, not almost. I do prefer it. Go ahead, call us names, and continue to lose elections. That would be great. 888-900-3393. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Let me just take a minute and ask you a question. Do you really control your retirement money? The answer is maybe not. If you have a 401k, an IRA, or similar retirement plan, the government actually controls it. They decide how much you can borrow, when you got to pay it back, and you'll owe taxes and penalties if you take money out too soon or wait too long, even though it's your money. Drives me out of my mind. Plus, with our skyrocketing national debt and Congress spending like drunken sailors, who knows how much you'll have to pay in taxes during a retirement that could last maybe 30 years or more. Here's a better alternative. It's called Bank on Yourself, and it's a proven retirement plan that lets you bypass Wall Street. You beat the banks and take control of your own financial future. Imagine guaranteed, predictable income and growth without luck or guesswork. Your principal and growth are locked in, no matter how the markets perform. Tax-free retirement income. That means your tax rate could be zero under current tax law. So you'll also have full control of your money with no government restrictions or penalties. It's the same strategy McDonald's used when banks wouldn't lend them money. So to get all the details in a free report at bankonyourself.com/unleashed, go to bankonyourself.com/unleashed. Get that free report today. bankonyourself.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Some tweets here. Unrepentant thought criminal. Right now, Kamala is blaming her loss on the 15 million racist Democrats who showed up for Biden's election but disappeared shortly thereafter.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
They are blaming.
They do think that.
Yeah. Lone Wolf 2965. You say no ID states. I say states without racist voter suppression.
Thank you. Someone had to say it.
Had to. And Lone Wolf 2965 did. So we appreciate that. Conservatarian lady, why not Rand Paul for Senate Majority Leader?
Right. Why not?
Indeed. Why not?
I don't know why we're left with these three choices.
I don't either.
That's stupid.
Yeah. No Rand Paul, not even a consideration. No Mike Lee, not even. We're not even going to consider it.
Have they said that they don't want that?
Not that I know of. I don't know.
Just don't.
Ted Cruz,
Doesn't
somebody.
that come with a pay increase as well? Isn't there like a nice little bump in pay for being a leader?
I don't know.
That alone will make me just want to throw my name in there.
Mm-hmm. If it's significant, yeah. It'd be, but you looking for it?
Yeah, but 193. 193.
So it goes from 175 to 193?
Okay, sure.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, 193, and then if you're the Speaker of the House, you're 223.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, yes. Good call on that, Chris.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So 174 for a regular, like you said.
Yeah.
193. Okay,
all
wow.
Right.
Man.
Interesting.
Good call, Chris.
Yeah. Furian Energy tweets, glad to see Republicans are already Republican-ing, despite what we, the people, told them we want.
I swear.
They're just barely better than Democrats.
Seriously, just barely.
True. It's true. Mommy and Me Biscuit. Wasn't Joe Rogan a Bernie bro not that long ago? Sure was. They're so mad about Rogan being a conservative, but he's really just a free thinker who's open to changing his mind. Yep. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Democrats, though, in general, they're all shocked. They're shell-shocked about Trump winning this thing, and it's just fun to watch him twist in the wind. Isn't this great? This is, what is this, cut 6? 4? Okay, cut 4.
Democrats now grappling with their stunning loss and trying to figure out what went wrong.
Had the president gotten out sooner, there may have been other candidates in the race. Kamala, I think, still would have won, but she may have been stronger, having taken her case to the public sooner.
Okay. I think people never got to know Kamala Harris during the time she was in this campaign.
But
if the goal is to win elections on Twitter, then you should embrace movements like defund the police. But if the goal is to win elections in the real world, where it matters, then you have to appeal to working class people of color.
The party itself has increasingly become a smarty pants, suburban, college educated party.
I take issue sometimes with people saying, oh, the quote-unquote left is the reason why this is happening.
What? Pause it for a second. Why did you leave no quotation there? If you want to quote somebody, then you say quote, and then you say the phrase, and then unquote. You don't do quote-unquote and then leave the quotation empty. It doesn't make any sense.
AOC. There's not a lot between the years.
No, I know.
So there's not going to be a lot in between her quotes.
I was going to say it's a Puerto Rican thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Puerto Rican thing. I said that.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that.
All right, there's more.
The ultimate problem is our ability to clearly and forthrightly advocate for an agenda that clearly champions the working class.
Okay. Joe Biden's decision to run for president again was a catastrophic mistake.
But we can all unite in knowing that Joe Biden would have lost and deserves a lot of blame for the situation that we're in.
Don't cry, bro.
Wow, I think they're going to. They're all crying.
Seriously.
Jeez.
It's going to be okay.
Pelosi's take is interesting because she's trying to have it both ways, as they always do. I mean, she's the one that forced Kamala Harris on everybody, but she says she only did that because of the president's endorsement, and that made it impossible to go to anybody else and open up the convention. What? No, it doesn't. You don't have to go with his choice.
I've said it since that moment on Sunday morning when the tweet came out from Joe Biden. I said, whoever is in control of Joe Biden's Twitter account at this moment just determined who the Democrat nominee is going to be, Kamala Harris. And congratulations.
How'd that work out for you?
We appreciate that.
Yeah. Yep. And here was Representative Katie Porter over the weekend.
So on election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, "Did someone punch you? Like, water polo is a rough sport." I was like, "Did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened?" And she said,
"What happened? What?
Mom, Trump won. Trump's going to win.
Now listen.
What if I get raped and I need to have an abortion?" This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter. And so it was really a reminder of how scary this time is for people and how important it is for Democrats to have strategies, both at the state level and the federal level, to make sure that we can continue to protect people's rights.
Wow.
Holy crap.
So,
but see, hold on. She's in California.
They're really planning ahead, aren't they?
Katie Porter's in California, right?
Uh-huh. I don't know.
So then she's fine. She can get the abortion. Yeah. That's how this works.
Right.
Your state allows that. Okay.
Man. What if both my legs are cut off?
Okay.
And I go to the doctor.
Okay.
And they won't treat me.
Right.
Because I don't have Obamacare. What would happen then? Then I'll die.
Then you'll die?
Yeah. Yeah. What if the moon smashes into the earth all of a sudden?
Okay.
Because Donald Trump was just elected for the second time, not consecutively.
Wait,
because he's changed the gravitational well.
Is that right?
Of the planet Earth. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, not only did he threaten democracy, they didn't do a very good job of saying he threatens physics themselves.
Wow.
Physics itself is being threatened right now by Donald J. Trump.
Now, hang on a second. That would have been a better campaign than I'm Kamala Harris and I approve this message. It should have been physics is on the ballot on November 5th.
Yes.
That might have gotten you a few more votes.
Instead, they limited themselves to just democracy. That wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, that didn't scare us enough.
Right. You got to walk the voter right up to the trough and dunk their head into it.
You sure and make them drink.
The moon is going to crash into
the earth. And then how are you going to feel? Okay? We're always talking about these dumb asteroids or comets that come close to us that are a mile wide. Try the moon.
What did you say?
Smashing right into us.
What did you call the asteroids? They're dumb
asteroids.
Asteroids?
Yes. That's what I call them.
See what you did there.
Yeah. See?
Good thing Chelsea Handler figured out about the moon and the sun, because if not, she would have freaked the hell out.
Yeah, she would have. Oh, man.
I didn't know, and this is true.
This is true.
I didn't know until I was 40 years old that the sun and the moon were not the same thing.
Why are you so stupid? Just why are you that dumb? Just why?
Just why?
Why are you
so indeed
dumb?
All right, let me tell you about realestateagentsitrust.com. If you need to make a big change in your life, it can be really, really hard. And buying or selling a home is super stressful because it's a massive investment. And if you're selling your home, you want to make a lot of money on it, right? You want to buy low, sell high. And on the other side of the equation, when you're buying, you want to get the most home for your money. That's where great realtors come in. And they can, steer you in the right direction when it comes to location. What's a desirable location? The great school districts, what you should do when you're getting your house ready to sell. What should you remodel? Should you do a major job or just a little bit or nothing? Real Estate Agents I Trust. These are the best realtors in the nation. The name really says it all. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com. It's a free service. We'll just set you up with the right realtor in your area, and then you're off and running. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
By the way, if liberals are planning on protesting Donald Trump's certification for January 6th, Adam Johnson, also known as Via Getty, the lectern guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy who actually picked up Nancy Pelosi's lectern and moved it 20 feet.
And took it home, right?
Yeah.
He took it home.
No, he didn't take it home, but he
destroyed it.
But he did move it, Chris.
Uh-huh.
You seem to be trying to deflect here, but I'm not going to allow it. He moved it 20 feet.
I'm glad y'all are getting hung up on this because, as you started to say there, he's got a message for those that might show up on January 6th that are on the left. Maybe they're wanting to protest the inauguration or the certification
insurrectionists,
of Donald Trump. Yeah.
Okay.
So he posted this tweet.
Here's what he said. The only way my fellow Democrats will have their voices heard will be to go to D.C. on January 6th, the protest. But be smart.
Be smart, yeah.
You can set the White House lawn on fire, turn over Secret Service vehicles, set a church on fire, and maybe even the president flee to another bunker and laugh about it. But please, for the love of our sacred democracy, don't touch their lecterns.
See, and that's someone who knows.
That's a great safety
That's someone
tip.
who knows. Because all of those things he mentioned about setting the White House lawn on fire, overturning Secret Service vehicles, make the president flee to a bunker, set a church on fire, all those things actually happened while Donald Trump was president at the hands of the left.
Yeah.
But he's right. Don't touch their lectern.
What a great tweet.
So great.
It's fantastic.
That was tweet of the year as far as I'm concerned.
Let's do a little flashback, too, to a Newsweek cover back in 2009.
Yeah, this came to mind over the weekend. Remember that?
We're all socialists now.
After Barack Obama was inaugurated.
And I thought it was racist to refer to him as a socialist.
So I kind of reworked the cover a little bit. And I think we're all MAGA now.
No, okay.
So there you go.
Nice.
And just kind of changed a little bit of the subheading there, the long overdue promise of the new era of smaller government. But I tell you what, you put one of these rhinos in charge of the Senate, and that dream's going to vanish before it even takes off.
Yep. We always get presented with the worst possible options, virtually every single time. Why would it only be these three? I mean, Rick Scott's not that bad an option, but he's obviously in third place of the three. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be surprised, and he'll get it. What was the count? Oh, you got Thune at 24,
Yeah.
Cornyn 18, and
Scott
Scott 11 so far.
If this is accurate, the Benny Johnson post on the whip count, you better start looking for pictures of John Thune. Get our agenda done.
Exactly. But some liberals just don't get what's going on. Americans want to talk about making groceries affordable, not how to get trans kids on playing fields against girls, not to get trans kids and get boys into girls athletes or athletics, not change them, not give them puberty blockers so that their bodies are messed up forever. But check out this exchange about this.
Yeah, the black guy is a Republican strategist, Shermichael Singleton, and then the white guy is Jay Michelson, some like liberal rabbi or something that just loses his mind. This is so bad.
I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I'm not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls' softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second because... Look,
this is why you lose.
A really heated issue.
These are your voices.
Right? And Michael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this.
Right.
I think out of respect for Jay.
Are you serious?
Let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase
hell?
this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't. No, just to be clear, you are not being targeted.
I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here and bloviate.
I'm saying you're using a phrase.
Pause it. You know, what happened to science with these people? What happened to biology and science?
Keep doing this.
You're science deniers.
Yeah.
You are the ones who are denying science now. I mean, this is something that is not difficult to any American. We understand that if you have a penis, you're a boy, you're a male, you're biologically male. If you have the XY chromosome, you're male. You're not female. I'm sorry if that offends you, but it's a fact of life.
Yeah, and keep having liberal voices.
Yeah,
and make
good.
this case. Fine, whatever. You'll continue to lose elections.
We're sick of it. And then to be told to say it in a non-offensive, what is offensive about saying what a person biologically is? Most of these people, in fact, if not all of them, are actually still owners of male members. They actually still have the man unit attached to their body.
What?
Yeah. So they still have the testosterone coursing through their veins, whether you like it or not. They have the traits, the characteristics, and the physical attributes of a male. And just because they identify as something else doesn't... I mean, if they identify as a cat, is that what you're going to just firmly believe? I'm sorry, I will not sit here and listen to you refer to this person as a human being. They are a feline. It is a cat who can bear kittens if they want to.
Wait, what?
Yes, this cat could bear kittens right now because they identify as a cat.
But what if they?
And I will not sit here, Keith Malinak, and listen to you say otherwise. I will not abide it.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
With a few tweets for you, Phil Sharp tweets, Sonny Hostin said we should vote for the color of skin and genitalia instead of policy. But nothing racist or misogynist about that.
Yeah, and you know what else is misogynist is that liberal guy on CNN and all those that argue for dudes being allowed to play against women.
Mm-hmm.
That's misogynist.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Bob Blah Blah tweets, the views Sonny Hostin must have forgotten that Nelson Mandela and Gandhi were also convicted felons. She didn't mention them either.
Awesome.
Call it like I see it. We never got a chance to get to know Kamala. She should have tried to get on Joe Rogan's podcast. Right. And spend 3 hours with us. Yeah. Yeah. Too bad he didn't offer that, though. Yeah, he just wouldn't have her. Mm-hmm. He banned her from his show. Anthony Osh tweets, the moon can't smash into the earth because Jeffy is stuck between them. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
What does that mean?
Let me eat!
Think about it. That's all I have to say on that. You know what? If you like this show, you are going to love the merchandise we have for the show. Go to shopblazemedia.com today. Check out everything from our I'm cold, it's cold sweaters and T-shirts to our Pat Gray hats and beanies. We've also got the throwback Glenn and Pat T-shirts from yesteryear. So much more. And, of course, there's all the other Blaze Media merchandise right there at your fingertips, too. Everything from the Blaze Heritage and Blaze Media collections. Things like jackets and T-shirts, hoodies, socks, mugs. Check it out. There's so much there that you're going to love. ShopBlazeMedia.com. Go there today. Check out my merchandise and everybody else's as well. And be sure to use my promo code PAT10. You'll get 10% off your entire order. PAT10 at ShopBlazeMedia.com. Promo code PAT10.
And now, Pat Gray returns.
Here's one liberal with a tremendous plan for Kamala Harris right now as we suffer through the waning months of the Biden-Harris administration.
Yeah.
Liberal. And so I hope that Joe Biden makes the next 10 weeks as consequential as he can. I don't care about drawing outside the lines or what Republicans may think about it. This is within your purview. You can actually do it, and you should do it. And, one more thing, John, is you have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court, and let Republicans go crazy and ape. I'm even mentioning that option.
Oh, yeah.
You're floating. Are you floating?
I'm going ape right now.
7:39 a.m. on the East Coast. Did Bakari Sellers just float Vice President Kamala Harris as a potential Supreme Court nominee?
Not only am I floating it, but I want to stir up everything. I want people's heads to explode this morning so we go into the weekend just knowing that the chaos has not ended just yet.
No, that's great.
Okay.
There's a real patriot, right? That's great.
Yeah, someone close to Sonia Sotomayor, who they would supposedly replace, says that she's in great health and she'll be staying on the court because the court needs her now more than ever. So bottom line is she's not on board with this plan.
Right. That's probably a problem of sorts. I would love for her to step down and leave, but probably after January 20th, that would be fantastic. Meanwhile, Gwen Walz is still out there trying to fire up Democrats.
I saw this video everywhere, and I'm like, is this seriously since the election? And I concluded that it is, and it's the go away. This is so bad.
I'm not sure if you heard me. We cannot and we will not give up this fight.
Ugh. She claps like a seal. What? It doesn't even look real.
That's right. We cannot and we will not give up this fight.
Oh, geez.
Hideous.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, you can sit down now.
It's going to be so great to have her and him out of our lives very soon.
They need to already be out of our lives. Yeah, go away. But seriously, she looked just like, and I mean, the arms, the hair, everything, like the Lawrence Welk chick with the small hands on Saturday Night Live from 20 years ago. Like oh my gosh, that's exactly what that was. Oh, she's just gross.
Also, Donald Trump has started to make selections for his administration. He just selected Tom Homan as the new border czar. He used to head up ICE.
Right.
And so...
Remember, we played a clip of his not 2 weeks ago. Uh-huh. And just a reminder who this guy is now going to be your new border czar. Oh.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
brilliant.
you.
Brilliant.
This guy.
I have been saying that since, I don't know, the early 40s. For sure.
Okay.
It's been the early 40s for me.
That's when you started saying
that's what I started saying.
So you're the OG on that comment.
Yes.
Well, something else you've been saying, he also said in a hearing a couple years back here with AOC, you're going to love this one too.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their...
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence,
American
I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan, with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
Listen to this.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
Thank you.
The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
She has nothing.
Okay.
She has nothing.
Mr. Chair, the memo is submitted to the record for review.
That is fantastic. Wow, he just shut her down.
That face was like, oh, crap.
Like,
Okay.
okay. Well,
So he has me on the law.
all right. Dang it. Wow, he's good.
Incoming border czar.
He's good.
Homan.
Yeah, and Trump said he's going to be in charge of all deportations.
Okay.
And here's a guy who makes no apologies for it, as he shouldn't apologize for it.
Now, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I also read over the weekend that the Secretary of Agriculture could possibly be Thomas Massie. Now, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. That's a guy who understands what's happening to our food as well. So,
yeah. Do you want him taken out of the Senate, though, to do that? I don't know that I do.
Congress, but I'm sure you
Oh,
can
yeah,
find
Congress. I mean,
someone.
out of... Yes, you don't want him out of his seat.
He just won his
We
seat
need
back.
really good people.
Yeah.
And how many do we have?
We counted them. I think it was like
We
5.
counted them,
Yeah, I
yes.
think it was like 5.
It might stretch to 6 if you include
The Freedom
both
Caucus
houses.
that we created.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah,
the
right.
Freedom Caucus that we created.
Freedom Squad. The
Yeah.
4 original members include
Chip Roy?
like you said, Thomas Massie, Chip Roy,
Mike
Mike
Lee.
Lee, and Rand Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4. Sorry, not 5.
4.
So we can't break up the Freedom
Dang.
Squad.
That's so sad. Out of those hundreds of guys, we only have 4.
Out of 435, we can count out the top of our heads.
4.
4.
Well, no, actually, it's worse than that. It's actually out of 535 because we're including House and Senate.
Oh, we are.
in this.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Holy cow.
Oh, man.
Good
That
stuff.
is phenomenal.
So we'll see. But it's starting to take shape. Oh, he did, Trump, over the weekend, post a thing saying, look, thanks, Nikki Haley, and thanks, Mike Pompeo, for your previous service in my administration. You will not be a part of this one. Oh, thank you, Lord.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Lord.
All right.
A couple of hawks, man. No, thank you.
Also, over the weekend, there was an unnamed source suggesting that the Trump administration was starting to distance itself from RFK, but Trump Jr.'s appearance on Megyn Kelly suggests otherwise.
Would RFKJ have an actual cabinet position now that the Republicans are going to control the Senate as opposed to being a non-confirmed czar type guy? Like, tell us what you can about the transition.
Yeah, listen, I was actually with RFK yesterday. We definitely do want to, honor the promise that we made, make sure that he's involved in whatever capacity sort of he wants. And I think he'd do an incredible job on the stuff as it relates to health. I spoke with both Tom Cotton and Marco yesterday. I sort of want to make sure that we're surrounding my father with people that are actually going to be helpful, not people who are, unelecteds that think they know better than what the vision is of the duly elected president of the United States. We had too much of that last time. I think that's what frankly scares the swamp so much is that Trump now with knowledge doesn't just trust me that, oh yeah, I'm on your side. I mean, I've also fielded a lot of those calls from people I haven't heard from in 4 years. Hey buddy, we're with you all along. It's like, okay, like if you haven't called me in 4 years, just lose my number now because you probably aren't.
You must love that.
So I don't want to confirm or deny any of those things. I'll let those guys do it. Not all of that information is accurate, but we'll get there shortly. But we're going to make sure. I'm going to make sure that the people that surround my father are both loyal to him and competent. You can have loyal and incompetent. That's not a great combination. You can have competent and not loyal. That's a terrible combination. We need both. But I think this time around we actually know who those people are. We're going to bring in a lot of people from outside. Elon was there at Mar-a-Lago yesterday with my father. Talking about Doge. I mean, I think to me. I mean, honestly, as much of a
Doge's
proponent
Department
as I've
of
been
Government Efficiency, he's going to start shrinking the size of government. Keep going.
I think to me, I love what RFK can do to health. I have 5 young kids. I want to make sure I'm not poisoning them, when they have a meal. I think that's incredible. I'd love to let him go wild on some of these things, or at least like shed some light so the American public understands exactly why we are where we are, exactly why we're so fat, exactly why we're so unhealthy, and why it seems like so many people are trying to keep us that way rather than let us be healthy. But the Elon thing is incredible because when you have the opportunity, Megan, to put the Einstein of our era into a position like that where he's willing to do it. I mean, this guy, in a few years, He's outperforming NASA, who's been doing the space thing for like 75 years. In a few years, publicly funded. This guy's catching rockets. That the greatest geniuses in our government, I use that term somewhat loosely, are incapable of. I want that guy doing that. I want the guy that's literally taken on entire industries and changed the way we look at the world, whether it's communications, whether it's transportation, whether it's the space race. I mean, that is, to me, an opportunity. That's a once in a generation, if not once in a lifetime, if not perhaps longer, opportunity to get our country on the right track.
Good stuff there.
Yeah, so it sounds like both Elon and Robert Kennedy
are going to be in.
Definitely a part of this administration, just like we anticipated.
Makes
so
a
I'm
lot of
glad he
sense.
shot that down.
I love what's happening so far.
Me too.
I mean, just what we hoped would happen is in fact happening. Like illegal alien caravans.
I didn't know.
So things like the caravan that, I don't know, there was 10,000 people or something. Thousands of them have already broken off from that caravan and gone back home.
Is that right?
Yep.
I thought you were going to say they started walking faster.
Some of them probably are, but others realize we're not going to be welcomed with open arms now.
All right, speed walk or turn around.
Yeah. A lot of them have chosen turn around.
I love it.
And so Trump tweeted out, it's already happening. The self-deportation is already happening. And it's self-deportation before they've even arrived, which is perfect. That's great. If you want to waste your time and walk all the way here just to be turned back, I guess go ahead, but maybe it's not the smartest move.
Yeah, and think about this. Let's say you sneak in on January 19th. Congratulations to you. Tom Homan's going to find you.
And send you back home. Yeah.
Get out.
Nothing wrong with that. We can do it humanely. And that's what Donald Trump said, too, over the weekend. We can do this humanely. We're not going to be beating people with sticks and throwing them into the back of some hot truck where they don't have any air to breathe in the back. Like, they arrived here.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that way. And will it cost some money? Yeah, it will. But is it worth it? Absolutely yes. I mean, we spend money on such stupid things, such unnecessary expenditures. Here's a necessary one that is worth investing in. All right, 888-900-3393. If we learned anything from this election last week, it's how important it is for us to fight. We also learned how desperately the left wants to take the fight to babies. They want to end babies' lives, and that's why every single day Preborn Ministries fights for those babies. Preborn's network of clinics is positioned in the highest abortion areas, and you know where those are? Right in minority neighborhoods. Because they're following the vision of their founder at Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, whose goal it was to eliminate blacks from our society. And it's despicable. It's unbelievable that never even gets mentioned, or very, very rarely. So if you'd like to save babies of all backgrounds, please donate. Consider a donation to Preborn. If you have the means, maybe you could even consider a leadership gift to save hundreds of babies. Your tax-deductible donation of $15,000 would place an ultrasound machine in a needy woman's center, saving countless babies for years to come. But whatever you can do, if it's $1, that would be greatly appreciated. To donate, dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or go to preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed. Sarcasm with 0 calories. Returns next.
If you want Kexi cookies guaranteed to get there by Thanksgiving, the cutoff for that is the 19th, so 8 days, right? So feel free to order our cookies, our bread products, the pumpkin bread with the chocolate chips in it. Oh, I think we still have a few of those. If you go really fast, go to Kexi.com. And then you can take full credit for them. Serve them to your friends and family and just say, yeah, I whipped these up in my spare time. Hope you like it. Still have some of those available, but they're going really fast. And of course, we've got the Boston cream pie cookie, which is, you don't want to miss it. All right, that's Keksi.com, KEKSI.com. NBC broke down the numbers of the new Republican voters and what happened in this election. Take a look at this.
Not just Donald Trump winning the election, but winning the popular vote. First time in 2 decades for a Republican. And how did he do it? He did it by transforming the Republican Party. It is now more diverse than it's ever been in modern times, and certainly much more than when Donald Trump first came on the scene 8 years ago. A lot of ways to look at this. How about this here? When it says pre-Trump, that's the last presidential election before Donald Trump started running. You got to go back to 2012 for that. Remember, 3 straight elections, Trump's been the Republican candidate. So pre-Trump, voters under 30 were going for the Democrats by 23 points. Folks with incomes under 50,000, 22 points for the Democrats. Folks without college degrees, 4 points for the Democrats. That's pre-Trump. What comes out of this election? Look at some of these shifts. The youth vote, that Democratic margin cut more than in half. Voters under 50,000, now a Republican constituency. Voters without a college degree, look at that shift. Now a core Republican constituency. And then we can talk about race, ethnicity. This gets into that diversity I mentioned a minute ago. Check this out. Again, pre-Trump versus now. The black vote still overwhelmingly Democratic, but that's a 15-point shift. It used to be 87 points for the Democrats, down to 72. How about this? You've heard a lot about it this week. This is what the numbers look like. Hispanic voters were 44 points Democratic before Donald Trump. Now, basically a toss-up constituency, and Asian Americans, a 32-point shift there as well. That's what's happened to the Republican Party since Donald Trump became its standard bearer 8 years ago. This has been the movement.
How about that?
So that puts your little wet blanket on nothing but white racists voted for Donald Trump. Clearly the numbers suggest otherwise.
I just can't explain how thrilled I am that he won the popular vote, too, because we don't have to be beaten over the head with that for the next 4 years.
Yeah. And when that rumor was starting late last week that the Trump administration, the incoming Trump administration, was distancing themselves from Robert Kennedy because of some comments he's made about vaccines, Larry Sharp posted, RFK Jr. was polling somewhere between 5 and 19%. And 5%, if he only got 5%, that's 7.5 million votes. Well, Donald Trump won the popular vote by 4 million. So a case could be made that getting Robert Kennedy's voters on board with MAGA and MAHA, combining forces, really helped. I just think you have made this incoming administration and the voter base that elected Donald Trump so diverse. It's
a big tent.
Covers it. Thank you. It's a big tent. And it's not a big tent in that, like, we're letting in, like the Democrats have allowed socialists into the tent, and they have completely taken over and destroyed that party.
No question about that.
And so hopefully this can be a constructive big tent.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, though, that we're probably not going to miss an awful lot who are going away now. Maybe this guy, Joe Biden, who battled sand on a beach over the weekend.
You got this, Joe. Joe, you
come
got
on.
this. You go. Well,
Jill, you going to help him out at all?
No.
She's not going to touch him. He's on his own. Look at him stumble and stagger around.
Holy crap.
Oh, man.
Can he make it to January 20th?
Look at that.
She is pissed.
Yeah, she's like, whatever, bro.
She's done.
You got it. You just don't. I'll be
If you
over
fall,
here.
you fall.
Yeah, I'll be over here if you need me.
I think Jeffy might be for the first time in his life, he might be right about something.
About how she
hates him.
Oh, look at him stumbling. Oh, my gosh.
I don't know.
He's lucky he's still upright.
Don't ask him questions.
Right, he's trying to concentrate.
Concentrate on the sand.
Wow.
He cannot talk, walk, and chew gum.
Gosh.
But that guy.
That's your president. That's your president.
In a room with Vladimir Putin.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Which, by the way, Trump has been in contact with Putin about, told him.
Yeah, don't escalate this thing.
Thank you. I'm coming to talk to you. Let's just chill for a bit.
Yeah. Apparently they're massing troops, though. I don't know if they're going to do this, but there's 50,000 Russian and North Korean troops that are I guess, poised or about to be poised to invade Ukraine. I don't know. They've repelled invasion after invasion, though. So
Ukraine is a country in Europe.
See, these clips are now hilarious. They on a dime.
Much easier to
Right?
take, for sure. Yeah. Meanwhile, did you hear about this FEMA employee who told workers in the hurricane-ravaged areas to avoid the homes with Trump signs?
Mm-hmm. This is Milton in Florida, right?
Yep. She has now been fired from her job, thank goodness. She's being investigated because she told a disaster relief team that she's directing in Florida to avoid homes displaying election campaign signs supporting Donald Trump. Conduct that the agency called reprehensible. Now, she says, yeah, well, I'm just a scapegoat here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is more of a larger... Like,
like this maybe came from higher up,
which I would not doubt at all.
I would not surprise me
doubt
in
it's
the
just
least.
one rogue lady who doesn't like conservatives.
The administrator of the federal agency posted on X more than 22,000 FEMA employees every day adhere to FEMA's core values and are dedicated to helping people before, during, and after disasters, often sacrificing time with their families to help disaster survivors. Recently, a FEMA employee departed from these values. Did she? To advise her survivor assistance team not to go to homes with yard signs supporting President-elect Trump. This is a clear violation of FEMA's core values. Is it? To help people regardless of their political affiliation. Okay.
That's cute, right?
I mean, we've been beaten up so much with this stuff. Is there anybody who doubts that this comes from higher up than her? I bet she is a scapegoat. But they did the right thing, got rid of her. Good. 888-900-3393. More coming up.
Like, whatever.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Big announcement over the weekend was Tom Homan, who was the director of ICE, is going to be the new border czar. That is really good. This guy doesn't take nonsense off the Democrats at all. So there's that. What was the other appointment he was making? He selected his chief of staff, which is a woman, showing what a misogynist he is.
Mm-hmm. And there was didn't he offer to Representative Stefanik, the UN?
Yes, UN ambassador.
UN
That's
ambassador.
Right. Yep.
Did she not accept it yet?
Oh, I think she did.
Okay.
I don't think she did. I haven't seen a
So what was
comment from her.
I just saw in passing over the weekend that Glenn Beck, a guy who does a thing down the hall
That's
here.
awesome.
He
I saw
was
that
being
too.
considered for UN ambassador.
Yes,
Is that
he was.
what happened to that? Why
I
is Stefanik
don't
get
know.
it?
I think it's because Glenn retweeted it and made it into a big deal.
I see.
Trump is like, no.
But yes, Susan Wiles, chief of staff. And do we have any confirmation on Thomas Massie in Department of Agriculture? Do we know where that is, or has he spoken about this?
I'll text him. Let me see.
You'll text him. All right, culture. I'm just wondering here if we got anything. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He's willing to help, but hasn't received. That was 3 days ago. I don't know.
Here's an interesting tweet from Trump as well.
Okay.
I'm very surprised that the Democrats, he writes, who fought a hard and valiant fight in the 2020 presidential election, raising a record amount of money, didn't have lots of money left over. Now they're being squeezed by vendors and others. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I think he's serious here. Yeah. I would strongly recommend we, as a party, and for the sake of desperately needed unity, do. We have a lot of money left over, in that our biggest asset in the campaign was earned media. That means free publicity that you get from being talked about on social media or networks or whatever. And that doesn't cost very much. Make America great again. So he's suggesting, I guess, that the Trump campaign help pay off the $20 million debt that's accrued by the Democrats?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Interesting.
So in other words, if you donated to Trump,
Mm-hmm.
In theory, you could be helping to pay off.
If they decide to do this, you
Kamala's
could.
debt.
Yeah,
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Don't like.
Mm-hmm. Over the weekend, also, Robert Kennedy tweeted out this clip from Donald Trump on defending the First Amendment.
So, yeah, I don't know how when this was originally done by Trump, but RFK tweeted this out and said Donald Trump should be placed on Mount Rushmore for this.
Mm-hmm.
If this all happens, he's absolutely right. But this is a long video if you want to watch this thing.
If we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple, just like dominoes, one by one. They'll go down. That's why today I'm announcing my plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people. They have collaborated to suppress vital information on everything from elections to public health. The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed, and it must happen immediately. And here's my plan. First, within hours of my inauguration, I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens. I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis- or disinformation. And I will begin the process of identifying and firing every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship, directly or indirectly, whether they are the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are. Second, I will order the Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified. These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws, the Hatch Act, and a host of other potential criminal, civil, regulatory, and constitutional offenses. To assist in these efforts, I am urging House Republicans to immediately send preservation letters, and we have to do this right now, to the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, and every Silicon Valley tech giant, ordering them not to destroy evidence of censorship. Third, upon my inauguration as president, I will ask Congress to send a bill to my desk revising Section 230 to get big online platforms out of censorship business. From now on, digital platforms should only qualify for immunity protection under Section 230 if they meet high standards of neutrality, transparency, fairness, and non-discrimination. We should require these platforms to increase their efforts to take down unlawful content such as child exploitation and promoting terrorism, while dramatically curtailing their power to arbitrarily restrict lawful speech. Fourth, we need to break up the entire toxic censorship industry that has arisen under the false guise of tackling so-called mis- and disinformation. The federal government should immediately stop funding all nonprofits and academic programs that support this authoritarian project. If any U.S. university is discovered to have engaged in censorship activities or election interferences in the past, such as flagging social media content for removal of blacklisting, those universities should lose federal research dollars and federal student loan support for a period of 5 years and maybe more. We should also enact new laws laying out clear criminal penalties for federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities to do an end run around the Constitution and deprive Americans of their First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment rights. In other words, deprive them of their vote. And once you lose those elections, and once you lose your borders like we have, you no longer have a country. Furthermore, to confront the problems of major platforms being infiltrated by legions of former deep staters and intelligence officials, there should be a 7-year calling off period before any employee of the FBI, CIA, NSA, DNI, DHS, or DOD is allowed to take a job at a company possessing vast quantities of U.S. user data. Fifth, the time has finally come for Congress to pass a digital Bill of Rights. This should include a right to digital due process. In other words, government officials should need a court order to take down online content, not send information requests such as the FBI was sending to Twitter. Furthermore, when users of big online platforms have their content or accounts removed, throttled, shadow banned, or otherwise restricted, no matter what name they use, they should have the right to be informed that it's happening, the right to a specific explanation of the reason why, and the right to a timely appeal. In addition, all users over the age of 18 should have the right to opt out of content moderation and curation entirely and receive an unmanipulated stream of information if they so choose. The fight for free speech is a matter of victory or death for America and for the survival of Western civilization itself. When I am president, this whole rotten system of censorship and information control will be ripped out of the system at large. There won't be anything left. By restoring free speech, we'll begin to reclaim our democracy and save our nation. Thank you, and God bless America.
What a dictator. What a fascist.
But he
calling
just-
for free speech.
Yeah, it's just a free speech thing. What do you mean?
Who does that?
So again,
that's great.
I think he recorded this a while back. I think RFK just posted it to say, hey, don't forget all this.
Yeah. Well, if he does manage it, we should start chiseling the mountain again.
Yeah. There's
Start
room.
the process.
There's room off to the right.
There's a lot of room.
I will say.
There is a lot of room.
But think about all that he's saying there. That should go without saying that
Thank
we already
you.
have all that.
Thank you.
But we don't. And I mean, it's pretty bad when people like Bill Maher are saying it. People like Justine Bateman, Hollywood actress. Justine Bateman. This is the sister of Justin, right?
Yes.
Justin Bateman.
You got it.
I like Justin Bateman. It's funny. And Justine has been talking about how suffocating and un-American the current environment is. She's not saying it's Trump's fault. She's saying it currently exists. And here's what she tweeted out. I'm decompressing from walking on eggshells for the past 4 years. I have found the last 4 years to be an almost intolerable period, a very un-American period, in that any questioning, any opinions, any likes or dislikes were held up to a very limited list of permitted positions in order to assess acceptability. I've never in my life known that to be an American environment. It's an environment that I've encountered in smaller groupings, church, private clubs, cliques, but never before as a national blanket. It's been suffocating. Common sense was discarded. Intellectual discussion was demonized. Only permitted position, behavior, and speech was allowed. Complete intolerance became almost a religion, and one's professional and social life was threatened almost constantly. Those that spoke otherwise were ruined as a warning to others. Their destruction was displayed in the town square of social media for all to see. This was the Me Too movement, where every effort was made to divert attention to oneself instead of recognizing how one contributes to the whole. This was the era of trying to exercise control over those who did not want to follow the crowd and has their own ideas about what they needed to do. This dampened our culture and innovation, bringing people to even think that Generative AI, a regurgitation of the past, was actually our culture and our future. When you starve a society of those called to be independent thinkers and cultural and intellectual innovators, you rob that society of any forward movement. Those that tried to impose that control maintained a kind of hall monitor position by threatening others with damning labels like sexist, racist, homophobic, when the free thinking and questioning was nothing of the sort. However, the mob mentality that followed caused these social convictions when there was often no evidence to support them. Wow. That's pretty profound. Pretty good from a Hollywood actress. And sums up pretty nicely where we've been the last 4 years at least. And I think she's obviously sensing that things are going to be different now under Trump.
And by the way, it's Jason Bateman, not Justine.
Right, Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Jason Bateman. He's the one
from Ozark.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and Arrested Development.
Yes.
Funny my guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he really is. I don't know where he stands politically. Probably not where.
You don't want to. Just keep moving.
I was going to say, we played a clip a couple weeks ago where he said...
Oh, did we?
Yes, where he sees a Tesla and all he sees is Trump.
Oh, that's right.
And he gave back he sold his Tesla and bought another EV.
It's like, okay.
Okay, exactly.
He needs to talk to his sister.
Yeah.
That's what
Definitely,
should
they need
happen
to talk
here.
to his sister.
Yeah. All right, let me tell you about Beam Organics. This is a delicious powder that it's a hot cocoa that you drink at night, and if you're having trouble sleeping, this will put you right to sleep. You'll fall asleep faster, you'll stay asleep longer. It is fantastic. Without that grogginess that you wake up with some other supplements in the morning. Maybe you've tried everything else and nothing has worked. Please give this a shot. The sea salt caramel is so delicious. They've got all kinds of different really delicious flavors and all natural ingredients. So you don't have to worry about habit-forming drugs in this. It's really just awesome. It's Beam's Dream Powder. And just in time for the holidays, you can access their biggest Cyber Monday sale of the year early. Get up to 50%, that's 50% off at shopbeam.com/Pat. That's shop, BEAM, shopbeam.com/Pat. Enter the promo code Pat at checkout to save up to 50%.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
This might surprise you, but common sense didn't prevail everywhere in the country last Tuesday. Voters decided on some climate measures in California. They rejected an initiative to tax natural gas-powered buildings in California.
Well, that's good.
But the voters passed Proposition 4, which will create a $10 billion taxpayer-funded bond for climate projects. Isn't that wonderful? Including improvements to drinking water. I wonder how they're going to improve the drinking water. Is that with fluoride or arsenic or what else are you going to put in our water? with our authorization. Of course, I guess this just authorized it. Wildfire prevention efforts and protecting coastal areas from rises in sea level. All global warming stuff. That's perfect. Good. Prior to its passing, opponents of the measure warned that there would be financial implications for such projects and that the state should not take a loan-based approach to climate-related mitigation. On Election Day, voters in Washington rejected an initiative to repeal the state's climate policy. Dummies.
Dumbasses.
Residents voted against Washington Initiative 2117, which would have repealed the state's Climate Commitment Act, which aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 95% below 1990 levels by 2050. Good luck with that. I'm sure that'll be easy to do, right? And inexpensive, too.
Sure. Let the states commit suicide. Leave the nation
that's fine.
alone.
Right.
Leave us alone.
Really true. Oh,
yeah.
man.
So, but there is a. Remember, we haven't circled back to this, as Jen Psaki used to say. I think wasn't it in overtime where we talked about the Spain floods?
Oh,
It's
yes.
just catastrophic what's going on
The
there.
rain in Spain did not stay mainly in the plain.
It did not.
And it came down hard and fast and continual. And didn't they have just another huge storm again, like last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. After all of this, you're seeing the devastation here in these photos.
Yeah.
And then they got hit again.
Well, yeah, it was climate change is what's doing this. You know that, right?
Yeah, except no.
Except no? What do you mean
no?
Except no?
There seems to be, I am sure this is just purely coincidence, but there's cloud seeding going on in Morocco.
Big time. Like hundreds of different incidences. I can't find it. I thought I printed it up. But, boy, Morocco's been going nuts with the cloud seeding.
Huh.
And in fact, to the point where back in August, Spain was like, hey, can we talk about what you guys are up to over there?
Yeah, because we're kind of close to where you are, and we might be affected by what you're doing.
So
now
we don't know if they're connected, but
we don't know for sure, but it's pretty suspicious.
Sure is.
Is it not?
Sure is.
I'd be a little pissed off right now at their efforts in Morocco to bring rain that we just flooded us out and killed how many people?
Oh, hundreds.
Yeah, there was.
It was unbelievable. People trying to. The reason there's so many cars is because the rain just came so quickly that parking garages were flooding instantly, and people were trying to get their cars out. And the next thing you know, they're all trapped, and their cars are coffins. Oh, it was just so bad, and it got completely missed, with all of the election stuff happening in this country. But my goodness, who knows what was the cause of that? But they're trying to get you to believe that, see, this kind of stuff's going to happen.
Climate change.
Yep.
And last month, we talked to the climate engineering.
Yeah.
And he talked about UAE. What happened in UAE was the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So go back and listen to that podcast because he explains it all.
Because they're doing a lot of cloud seeding there.
Cloud seeding in UAE. And just like he said, it came out of nowhere. It flooded it all. And then
it's gone.
It's gone.
Huh.
So there seems to be some...
Whether or not you believe in weather manipulation, there are certain things that are just fact. Like we can bring rain. We can seed clouds. And it does actually work. I don't know if it works every time, but it works enough to where, you can definitely get flash floods out of it. And they did. They did. This is what happens when you mess with nature. We should have learned from that butter commercial years ago.
What's that?
You don't mess with Mother Nature. She gets pissed. So stop it. That's why she was so offended by the man-made margarine.
Margarine, yes.
That she didn't like. No, you don't mess with Mother Nature.
So
just use butter. And she was right.
I was going to say, so this is payback for
margarine.
Margarine
is not good for you, and it's not good. Butter, if I had to choose between the two, let's see, the chemical-laden margarine or the natural butter. I'm going butter every time.
Oh, you are going butter. Oh, I thought you were going to go chemically made.
Which is no. And that's why we use actual butter in our cookies at Kexi Cookies.
Okay.
Wow, there we go.
Yeah. See what I did there?
Kexi.com.
I just slid one in there. If you'd like some really delicious, buttery, yummy cookies.
With natural butter.
No margarine at all. No lard.
Yeah.
It's butter.
I had one of your big boy Texas chocolate chip cookies for supper last night with a glass of
supper. That's
perfect supper.
Pecan flavored bourbon to go with it.
Oh, nice.
How was that pairing?
Oh, it's a perfect.
Did it wake the notes
it was perfect.
of the bourbon?
Good.
So good. You mix that with 72 degrees. And,
was it a beautiful weekend?
It was
and football.
It was so nice here.
Patio. That was a good night.
I wouldn't know I was locked up for the weekend. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to ask you about your wonderful prison adventure.
Oh, no.
Because
tell us about it.
Yeah, your church sent you to the prison.
They sent me to prison
to do some missionary work.
Missionary work, and it was fascinating. I just forgot to wear a belt, and my butt crack showed. And
I bet that turned some guys
off.
I bet
it attracted the wrong crowd.
Did it really?
I knew it.
To the point where one of the gentlemen, Matthew, comes up to me and whispers to my ear, "Hey, I know you're not a plumber. So roll your pants down."
No!
Shout out to Matthew.
Matthew got me good.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Do not be ambiguous. Matthew got me good.
And,
what are you talking about, bro?
And I did not know that my hairstyle was
also gay.
Gay.
Oh, okay.
It's a gay signature because
turn and face the camera. What now? Let's see your.
Yeah, because it sticks straight up like that.
It stands up.
Yeah.
That's a gay. What?
So that's a gay sign.
It's a gay sign.
Nice.
So
in prison?
In prison. Yes,
who are
in
these
prison.
people you were hanging out with? Are they like tax evasion people? And
I wish I was hanging out.
lot
These
violations?
are medium security individuals that committed maybe some murder.
Oh, murder.
Maybe some murder.
Maybe some gang-related mafia gang. Oh, it was.
Wow. So
And
you're,
what were
you're
you-
hanging with the cream of the crop.
And what were you in for?
I was in for being a conservative. That's what I was in for. No, I was in sharing Jesus. That's what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
Did any accept?
All 42, yes, sir. Even a Muslim.
Seriously?
Yes, sir.
Look at that,
Oh,
man.
that's great. 42 people.
42 out of 42.
Wow. Seriously. So do you baptize them now, or what happens?
No, that the church in there takes care of that, and then we'll come back in a month and see how they're doing.
Well, congratulations. That's great.
Winning for the kingdom.
And do you have a date for the weekend when one of them gets out?
Matthew, what up?
One gets out.
When's Matthew paroled?
After 21 years, one guy gets out next month. And
Okay.
he was the head of the chaplain.
Oh, man. Okay. All right.
So
fascinating.
Moral of the
weekend.
story is wear a belt when you go to prison, or else you can go
And I'm a
with
plumber in
date.
Good safety tip. Good safety
Plumber!
tip. We'll see you on Overtime coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.